Yep. Yep. Yep.
Like that?
Yep. Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Hey, I Got an Idea show. This is Luke, Less Ashamed Williams speaking, and this is my brother,
Mason Tailsteak Williams. That's me.
Yep. That is the two of us. And this week, we will be inventing something brand new.
It's going to be so good.
So good, you won't even know how to handle it.
You won't believe your eyes because you're listening to it with your ears.
So it really has nothing to do with your eyes at all.
Well, you could, put the headphones in your eyes, but you would have difficulty hearing. Typically, you're not going to be able to see the vibrations.
The vibrations don't get into your ears very well that way.
That would be the opposite of Daredevil, I think. If instead of having your sight removed so your hearing's enhanced, have your hearing removed so your sight becomes so advanced that you can see vibrations and effectively hear things that way.
I feel bad for people that can't hear that that's just really not true.
Well, I mean, same thing for Daredevil, right?
Yeah, that's
you
also
think
true.
Blind people can do that shit? I'm sorry.
I do not.
If that was actually something that blind people could do, normal ass blind people, that shit would be regulated. If you were blind, you would get put on a registry because you can rob banks.
I'm actually a little bit hung up on the fact that you just phrased that ass blind people. People who can not see asses.
Well, they can't distinguish asses. They've got ass blindness.
It's like a Google filter for Google Street View for faces, but just asses. So just blurs it.
I imagine there must be the equivalent of censored vision. You're walking down the street, and if there's anything offensive, then it just gets bleeped or blurred out, right?
Right.
If someone's got their settings tuned to just asses, that's the only thing they find offensive.
But
they're okay with genitals, but they see an ass and they're just gonna lose it. So for their own protection.
I can't handle this ass.
Indeed, you can't.
But we're not inventing an ass this week.
Great segue.
I know. Also, this show is about inventing stuff, and me and my bro here, we're gonna just talk our way through the next best whatever. And
it's gonna be so great.
And what is that whatever?
You won't be able to believe your ass,
Mr. Williams, which is both of our names.
Okay. Well, Mr. Williams, I'm glad you found that amusing.
Yes,
we're going to invent or sort of spitball, work out, hash out the script of the next great action movie.
I'm into it.
Action movie.
Okay. So, let's start with just sort of laying out what an action movie is, then go into the bullet points. Less so what it isn't. And go through the bullet points of what is required for an awesome-ass action movie.
Okay.
So,
it's got to be moving pictures.
Yes.
Usually there's sound.
Yes.
And there's got to be action.
All right, let's turn that on its head.
Okay, so no moving pictures,
None.
No sound, no action whatsoever. Ladies and gentlemen, it's a rock. Enjoy.
It's kind of just if you sit on a bench.
I do like benches.
They're great. But no, let's not focus on the bench movie that isn't a movie. Screw that idea. So, okay, action, moving pictures, sure. But what makes an action movie compared to a movie that just happens to be eventful?
To have some action in it.
Is it explosions?
Well, it's got to be that the action is the focus. The action is the reason that you watch the movie.
Right,
there are plenty of movies in which action exists, but that's not why you watch the movie.
So is it what do you think it is about good action movie writing that makes it like a strong action movie? Do you think it's the stakes? Do you think it's the trying to not say action?
I don't think it's the stakes. I don't think it's the high stakes. Like, if you had an action movie for me and you were like, oh, it's totally crazy, this guy does a bunch of parkour and he kicks people in the face and he runs, along traffic, and I'm like, cool, what's he doing all that for? And you're like, oh, well, he really wants pancakes. Like, I would still watch that movie and I would still consider it an action movie.
I said stakes, not stacks.
That's a good pun. That's
that one's for you, listeners.
It's good stuff.
The punsman.
Okay, so
the dark punsman strikes again.
Here's a question. This I think is more on the nose.
Okay.
If an action movie is defined by the action, what is action? Like, does it have to be violence?
Yeah, that's actually kind of a good point to try and deconstruct that, because like take a movie about take like 21 days later, was it 28 days later, however many days later it was,
some days later.
that was a virus outbreak that was sort of zombie, sort of not, and yeah, there was violence, but it wasn't like that. It was like an action movie. It was the fact that like shit, people are getting sick and we all don't know how to handle this. And people are turning into these crazy monsters. And it's like, I appreciate the fact that angle meant that it wasn't explosions. It was, focusing on the people and focusing on the relationships. And it wasn't, you could sort of say that Children of Men sort of did that too, right? That it was like, it was about how humans fell apart because they couldn't reproduce.
But is Children of Men really an action movie?
Isn't it? Okay. Where does action movie begin and war movie begin? Like, where does martial arts movie begin? Like, because there's always guns and fighting in an action movie. So
okay, and a horror movie and an action movie can overlap, but they are not necessarily the same thing. There's some room on either side of that Venn diagram. The horror movie is defined by the experience of horror. Like, are you scared? Is something horrifying? The action movie is defined by, like, pulse pounding, excitement. Is your heart beating faster because you are watching this movie? I would say that you can have an action movie without it being horror. You can have a horror movie without it being action, because those two emotions are not mutually exclusive. Like, I would even say comedy. That's again something that's not mutually exclusive from those other two things. Romance, not mutually exclusive from those other things. You can have a movie that is horror and action and comedy and romance, like, as long as it features those emotions prominently. Like, it's about the experience that you prompt in the watcher.
This might be sort of splitting hairs a little bit, but where would you feel like a movie like Princess Bride falls? Because that has the point of that story is that it has a little bit of everything. That's sort of the selling point of it, and yet that feels more like lighthearted fantasy or something.
Yeah, I really wouldn't call it an action movie. Yeah.
Like, do we just default to Vin Diesel and Bruce Willis, like big bald men? Is that just?
I'm gonna, you know what? I'm gonna say yes. I'm gonna say we need big bald men.
All right, bullet point number 1: big bald man.
Big and bald and men.
Okay, can there be more than one?
Yes.
Okay, because here's another thing I want to touch on. This might be sort of the important structure of an action movie. Is it an important focal point that there be one guy that is like the luckiest goddamn son of a bitch possible, where he's like flying from one explosion to the slightest thing he can get his fingertips on, and then he pulls himself up? Like,
I'm gonna say no, and I'll tell you why. Consider, if you will, Die Hard.
Yes.
Definitely an action movie.
Yes.
Bruce Willis' character in Die Hard is not a lucky son of a bitch, because he gets the shit kicked out of him. He walks on broken glass. He has a bad time. Yeah. He only is the hero because he survives to the end. He's a die hard. It is hard to make him die.
Right.
So you can be unlucky. You can have everything go wrong. You just have to survive to the end and triumph.
Okay, one more subgenre that I want to tackle real quick. What about the Battle Royale, Hunger Games survival genre?
I think it's okay if you start with like a dozen guys and whittle them down to like one guy, and even you can lose the one guy at the end as long as like they're sacrificing themselves to achieve some goal, but you need to have like a reason for why they gotta do what they do. If it's just like a dozen bald guys in a rock tumbler and you tumble them around until they're all dead and you pour a slurry out of the bottom.
But one guy didn't break up as much as the others.
Yeah, like just a dozen guys in a centrifuge, and like you bump them around and you have a camera that watches that shit for an hour and a half, and then at the end of the movie the last guy dies and you just pour the slurry out the bottom and like the red strawberry jam, and you linger on that for like 30 seconds of shot, and then Finn. Like, I'm sorry, that's not an action movie.
That's pretty squarely in that horror thing we were talking about a second ago.
That's really more of a snuff film.
Yeah, that's pretty horrible.
It's a snuff film in which you have killed Vin Diesel for no reason.
But also, gonna throw this one out there. Nutritious.
I wouldn't feed it to a human being because like there's cross-contamination issues there, but nutritious for other organisms certainly, like pigs would be.
But like man smoothie. Have it. Okay, let's move from that.
Yeah. That's,
so this
kind of gross.
It's funny that you pitched the 12 bald men in a tumbler because the concept of just like maybe this is just our brains sort of synchronized on this one, but
that was your idea as well.
No,
that's also the movie you wanted to see.
Not a tumbler, but the second we were actually talking about it being like, okay, we need big, bald, like, you know, strong character men, and we need 12 of them to like square off, and they might as well all be bald. It's like, okay, well, hang on a second. What if it was sort of like they all wake up in some sort of chamber or something?
Facility, yeah.
But like someone shaved him down. It's so basically Rust.
like you wake up in like the Aperture Science Center and it's like, oh shit, somebody shaved my head. God damn it. And then like you like, good morning, gentlemen. You need to fight each other in this centrifuge now.
I'm confident that we're describing like 2 or 3 movies that already exist though.
Yeah, that sounds like I'm not gonna lie, I'd watch that.
I mean, okay, did you see Cube?
I did see Cube. Cube fucking kicks ass.
Yeah, Cube. Here's something that was a couple.
You wouldn't think so with a movie called Cube. You'd just be like, oh, it's a movie called, like, if you didn't know that Cube was about that, and it was just like, watch the movie Cube. It's about a cube. You'd be like, I'm not gonna watch this.
That
be
just
like
sounds
a documentary about the Rubik's Cube.
I could just look at a cube. I don't know. Okay, anyway.
I have a cube right here.
I'm like my computer's in front of me right now. It's basically a cube. But no, the 1 or 2 fun facts about Cube. It had first of all, it's Canadian. Second of all, it was made with like, I think it was made with like a CBC grant or something. Like it was.
It was literally made with zero. It actually had a negative budget. It was the first movie made in history with a negative amount of money because the whole way along they had to like trick people into acting.
And then on top of that, the it was essentially the one room that they kept relighting and reconstructing to make it look as though there were all these rooms in an order. And
it was basically some dude's garage.
Yeah, it was like, oh god, that is so inventive that they pulled that off. But okay. Main thing I'd bring Cube up for is that also has the they all wake up there thing, the survival thing. But it became more cerebral, right? Because it had crazy endings. And sorry if you haven't seen Cube, fucking watch it. It's cool.
For the love of God, stop this podcast right now and go watch Cube.
In fact, you probably shouldn't even listen to another podcast again ever. I don't know why you would even when Cube is out there, that you could just watch that over and over.
Cube is required watching before listening to any podcast. Yes.
That's you really let's move off of Cube. But
by the way, this podcast is brought to you by Squarespace, who are the makers of Cube.
Yeah, they made Cube.
It was a really good movie, and they made it, and you should watch it
on a negative budget.
Squarespace, they make movies.
Mm-hmm. So,
but that's why they got their name, Squarespace, right? Because it was the space inside the cube. They named themselves after that movie.
It was six squares, actually.
Well, I mean, if you want to get pedantic about it, yeah.
I mean, I suppose it was 5 because there was that fourth wall that they were filming from. Okay, anyway. So, it got too cerebral. It wouldn't really be too easily described as an action movie, but I want to point in the direction of Inception, which was also a cerebral movie and also a blockbuster sort of hit.
But definitely an action movie. I would say that's absolutely an action movie because there is, again, I'm going to bring this back. It's the focus on the action. Like in Cube, if you had clipped out all of the scenes with action, like if you had removed those scenes and just replaced them like silent movie style with like a little caption over the screen that says, and then this happened, like the movie would not be substantially worse. Whereas Inception, if you took all of the scenes where fights and gunplay happened and you just replaced it with a caption on the screen that said, and then, Joseph Gordon-Levitt beat up a dude in a hallway and it was fucking sweet. Like, that you wouldn't watch that movie. A, you wouldn't watch that movie, and B, it would be 10 minutes long.
I love the concept of describing that scene and trying to describe it as excitedly enough to that it would be able to replace it. Like, oh, and now his right foot is on the wall, and now that wall is the floor. Fucking hell.
Did you have the tinkly piano music instead of Hans Zimmer the whole time?
No more bois, just ding 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 ding.
Oh my god, take that scene, black and white, speed it up about 20%, and just cut all the sound, just have the tinkly piano music, and have the silent movie captions. That would be the funniest shit.
I think that scene might actually get better that way, but I mean,
Yeah, but I'm saying is if we remove the action altogether, no one would watch Inception anymore. Whereas with Cube, I think you would still watch it. And the key is the action, the focus is the action, the thing that makes you engaged with the movie.
Okay, now I want to pivot one more time, just because it's like movie talk, which we haven't really done much yet.
I love pivoting.
If we look at a martial arts movie, a movie like The Matrix, very much an action movie, and it has plenty of kung fu and martial arts and stuff.
Absolutely.
But it was distinctly an action movie. It was sort of sci-fi, but also very much action at the core.
Yes.
But any Jackie Chan movie is pretty much a martial arts movie.
Yes.
So is that just because it happens faster?
Well, okay, here's the question. What is the dividing line between a martial art and just violence? Like, when Jackie Chan is jumping through a ladder and, hitting a dude with clogs, there's no fucking dojo in the world where they teach you that.
Right. It's more the fact that he is a physical comedian and an extremely skillful martial artist at the same time and is able to pull that off.
Yeah, I would even argue, some of his best scenes are not technically martial arts.
Yeah.
It's just physical comedy that happens to involve kicking a dude in the face.
And I know it's not entirely fair to just summarize all of martial arts as, a Jackie Chan movie. I know that it's a different thing.
There are other dudes, yeah.
Yeah. I mean,
ladies.
I just mean to say that martial arts can take itself more seriously than your average Jackie Chan movie, where he is equal parts comedy. So, okay. What do we want for our action movie? We got 12 bald dudes. That's
12 bald dudes
on the drawing board so far.
Okay, so right off the bat, fuck the Bechdel test. This is we're just gonna go full on dude.
I mean, I don't mean to objectify women by saying this, but that seems to be that they would be the stakes if we wanted to include women in this sense. So it's talking about their wife or something. It's like, no,
what, like
no.
there's gonna be damsels? Oh my god! Well, wait, hang on. Flip it on its head.
Oh shit!
12 bald chicks, and like the dudes are the damsels.
Yeah, I actually kind of like that.
I know, right?
So 12...
my god! I understand there are plenty of action movies out there with like kick-ass female leads.
Yeah.
I want to see the female Jackie Chan. I would love to see like female action comedian kind of thing.
Me too.
Like, I don't think there is a person who fits in that. Like, can you name someone who would fit in that role?
More than once? No. And even that once is like, it's a scene. It's not like the character type.
Yeah.
Shit.
Like, there are plenty of female action stars. There are plenty of female comedians. Love them both. I cannot name the female Jackie Chan.
I feel like the place where you would start with that is like burlesque performers. Women that are like near circus level of like contortion and muscle control, and starting from there, find the funniest one who's also really skillful at that, and then just take a fight choreographer and be like, all right, you're making this work, we are working on this. And I mean, the only martial arts female I can even think of is Carrie-Anne Moss in The Matrix.
That's sad that's your poll.
Well, can you name a better one?
Yeah.
Who?
Zoe Saldana.
Sorry, I missed that one. Zoe Saldana?
I picked someone off the top of my head. Also, there was a little movie that came out.
Oh, right.
You may have heard of it, Star Wars. There's like Rey. She was like the new Jedi or something. Like,
right.
I would say she did some physical stunts in that movie.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So we got a couple good examples.
Daisy Ridley. It took me a while to come up with that name, but Daisy Ridley.
Okay, so Daisy Ridley, Zoe Saldana, and maybe like Ruby Rose. We shave them all bald. Oh, and I guess
okay.
Natalie Portman was bald once, so we'll put her in there too. And she was also in Star Wars.
Yes.
Yes. Me. Fuck. Anyway, I still like the direction this is going because we're talking about like strong females.
Okay, and we put them all in a rock tumbler, and only
like
one of them lives.
No Tumblr. No more Tumblr. You get off a Tumblr.
What? No, but all right.
There's just too many easy jokes there, so I'm just no.
Okay, we put him in a giant pencil sharpener.
Jesus Christ! I think we had too many good ideas in a row, and now you're just. It's like, oh man. What's happening?
Okay. So we put him in like a standard D&D style Underdark dungeon. And there's spikes, and there's goblins, and it's a non-stop, like the walls are caving in, there's traps on the floor.
As much as I'm not big on the direction that's leaning for it then shifting very fantasy, I do like that is very obviously action focused. I'm just thinking of other fusions, other action movies getting in on this, like, because part of what made Rey work in Force Awakens is Star Wars
midichlorians.
No, is the lightsaber.
Okay.
Is the Star Wars universe with the blasters and the ships and all the stuff we love, and it's easy to get into that.
Okay.
So maybe there's got to be a new universe thing.
Okay.
A new angle that is just really good.
Okay. So there's plenty of adjective punk or noun punk type thing. Like you got your cyberpunk, you got your steampunk, you got your solar punk. Can we have a something punk setting?
I like the idea of having a bunch of women for some kind of steampunk thing, but like, fucking what's her name from Mad Max?
Charlize Theron.
Charlize Theron. She was really good in that, and she was bald. Just saying.
Oh, baldish.
Baldish.
Like, she had very short hair. I would not call her bald.
And what's her face in Deadpool?
Okay.
Anyway, point being,
are you thinking of women who can do action or women who have been bald?
Good point. But also, it's more important that
like if I fucking shaved like Willow Smith, would you be like, oh yeah, no, she'll do? Because I can tell you right now, no.
But maybe though. Well, okay. Here's another thing that I was thinking about from the idea of a bunch of shaved people getting into a scenario together to survive.
Bald punk.
One. No, well, I like the concept of it being like a pit fighter thing. That it's sort of Coliseum style. They need to survive the thing, and then you mix that with steampunk mechanics. That's cool. But here's one other thing: is that you just take these people more at random. Like, let's say these weren't 12 people that were chosen because of their awesome fighting style. It's like the range that you would have in a D&D party is that some specialize in brawn, some specialize in brains, some specialize in magic or engineering or something.
Okay, so
you actually have to root for the thing that will work the best for a combination of outsmarting and outlasting.
Mm-hmm. So fucking aliens touch down. They grab 12 people at random.
Yeah.
And they're like, okay, fight for our amusement.
And the prize at the end is dick. I don't.
Luke, I hate to tell you this about our genitals, but ain't nobody fighting over dick. That's not how that works.
No, I mean to say that we were talking about the whatever the male version of a damsel is. We were talking about that being like the ending.
Like, I think being permitted to survive is reward enough, sir. But, like, the problem with your typical battle royale, the problem with your pit fighter scenario is inevitably, if you're going to feel good about the movie at all, like, you can't have it just like, oh, I won, 11 people are dead, happy ending. It's like, you have to go and fight your overlords and, like, buck the system.
Yeah, no, that is that's feeling really good. So I'm thinking that we did you see some of the other Hunger Games stuff where they tricked the system?
I have not actually seen any games.
All right,
hungry or otherwise.
Less important to that concept. How about the second act is sort of the bullshit of the system that maybe when a couple of them take deaths, but they were succeeding more as being cliquey and working together. They're like building mechs together somehow or something, like steampunky mechs. And then the third act thing is they're escaping the Coliseum setting and they are shutting things down, and it is, point the gun at the overlords, like you're saying.
Okay, so who's the overlord? Is it aliens? Is it the Fae?
Maybe it's just
dudes?
Maybe it's just MRAs.
Is the patriarchy? Like,
yes.
What? Fuck, dude. Like, we keep banging this drum, man. We gotta maybe think of another thing that a human being can have as a priority in life. Like,
I don't know, because we also have to figure out a way to carefully make this feminist but digestible, like Mad Max was.
Okay.
So we can't have it be that it's just like horrible patriarchy at the top. We have to be a little bit more subversive than that.
Okay, can we make it a metaphor and have them be zombies? Like, the zombies are in control and you have to fight them?
Okay, well, the thing about zombies is that they become shuffling, horrible things that are human-like but not human, which is why it's so fun to smash their faces in, because It's like, you aren't, redeemable, basically.
No, wait, hang on. End of second act twist. Like, this whole time, we're under the impression that, our protagonists are all human and the bad guys that are making them do this are all zombies, they're all monsters. But it turns out like one of the things about zombieism is it flips a switch in your brain and you see your fellow zombies as humans and you see humans as zombies. So this whole time they've actually been zombies, just groaning when they thought they were talking, but to an outside observer, they're just groaning. And this is just normal people that are like, oh, let's make the dumb zombies fight for our amusement. And that's the twist. It's sort of like I think Sixth Sense kind of thing.
I think it's a little bit too big of a twist. I think it's a corkscrew. Do a quadruple take to that one.
Fair enough.
I think something...
It is a bit of a pull.
Okay, something that I think is similar but workable is that you sort of have a faceless enemy that you just hear the voices of it. And it is something that is monstrous and zombie-like. But the thing about zombies is that they are just brains. They're not good at being competent. They're just a viral force. Mm-hmm. Horrible inhumanity, but retaining competence. So a sort of disease of some kind that is just making these people irredeemable people, but like they get a massive thirst for blood. They want to see people rip each other apart.
Okay.
And normally that's just the monstrousness that is, some kind of Hunger Games thing. But how do we make it that they are literally separate from human?
Well, okay. Did you see Limitless?
No, I missed that one.
Okay. I'm going to give some of the shit away. Limitless is basically about this pill that makes you so crazy super intelligent that it's effectively a crazy ass superpower. But at the same time, you... Like, this is debatable because it's never explicitly mentioned in the film, but you lose a very great deal of your humanity. Like, you're so crazy intelligent that you're like, oh, yes, I can, manipulate people to do whatever I want. I can write a best-selling novel in a couple of hours. I can play the stock market and make billions of dollars. But you completely lose touch with, like, enjoying art for its own sake. Like, the guy is an author, and once he writes his best-selling book and makes money off of it, he never wants to write again. And, like, there's no indication that he cares whatsoever about people. Like, he'll just use people as objects.
So is the big bad a cult that is essentially they've found a sort of pill of some kind, or they've genetically something?
Well, now, I don't want to demonize cults because we have a cult, and
right?
I don't want to.
Let's
not throw shade at cults.
Ours is way better than all the other ones, though.
It's so good. Yeah. Yes.
You really got to get in on that one, guys.
I really hope you're playing these episodes in order, because that's like a reference to a thing we did earlier.
Those two will happen in sequence, yes.
Good.
However, are you suggesting that the big bad is essentially some kind of cabal that they have this discovery where they all are on the same page about taking this pill or whatever, and they are thirsty for blood?
I'm okay with it being like a pill regimen. Like, you take all these pills and you're like, oh man, now I'm king shit, and I'm so focused and I can do whatever I want.
Hold up.
What I want is to kill people.
Remember the part where Equilibrium? Did you see that?
I did see Equilibrium, yes.
So, you know how Equilibrium was like this established, has taken over the world system? Yeah. What if this is the early days of that, where it's trying to get established?
Okay.
And in their studies of humanity, this is like part of how they're figuring out how to anticipate human behavior in desperate scenarios or something.
Okay, so like we have the thing where it's like, oh, this is actually a scientific study, and the people are like banging on the walls and yelling at the security cameras like, this is inhumane, you can't do this to us. And they're like, you don't understand. This is a scientific study.
However,
we're studying you for the benefit of humankind. Why won't you play along?
But the flip of that is that it has to be that when you start taking those pills and turning into that person, that feelingless person, that there's no going back from it, that it's one direction. It goes towards...
Well, maybe like at first you can dial it back a bit, but as you go along, it's sort of like in Dune, you. Where like you just become more and more physically, visibly inhuman.
Yeah, because the resolution of Equilibrium was that they were like absolutely redeemable. Just stop taking the pill.
Just go off your meds, which is that is actually the central message of like a lot of movies, and that's a bad message because you know medication can be good.
Consult your professionals, Sam.
Please.
But also the Equilibrium, just gonna throw this one out there. Kind of a bit of a problematic movie. Like it did some cool things, but also,
well, now if we're gonna point the problematic finger at action movies as a genre, like
we'll be here all night.
How much time do you have? Let's open up IMDb and start with number 1. Like I'm assuming they're in order. I'm just like, oh, Buster Keaton, like a barn fell on him. That's problematic.
Number 1 film. All right.
Okay, it's like, oh shit, a train's coming towards us. Oh, that's scary.
That's so problematic. I need to run away.
For some reason. Yeah, I was scared.
Okay, so let's try to actually get onto the branding of the packaging of this.
Yeah, so I mean, we need to have some action in this action movie. It can't all be backstory.
Right. Are we gonna fixate on a actual protagonist, or is this a team thing?
I think like of the dozen people, maybe fixate on say 3 of them that we care about the most. Okay, so I think we need like a bruiser, we need a brain, and we need the heart.
Bruiser, brain, and heart. Because I'm trying to pull up the random name generator, and I guess I had the wrong one. Just stall for me for a second.
Okay, bruiser, brain, and boobs.
Wait, but
that
just
go in front of the heart.
Female name, brain, brawn, and boobs, or heart. But boobs is funnier because it's 3 B's. So,
yes. Brain, brawn, and beating heart.
Perfect. Usha Shinwalhild. I couldn't even say it. No, that's no good.
Are you having a stroke over there, or like what's...
Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and pick German and Native American and Scottish and Russian and French. Okay, so our three. Oh, and fairy and goth and transformer.
Transformer.
Yeah, and fantasy. We'll just put all of fantasy. No, take fantasy off. Okay. So.
Okay, saffron forklift.
Wait, what? Are you using just random nouns?
I just like you want fairy goth transformers. There you go, saffron forklift.
Okay, so saffron forklift could be the brawn.
Okay, good.
I'm gonna generate another one. This is either gonna be brains.
See, I don't need a generator because I have like one in my brain that's running all the time.
Well, that's nice. That's nice. Good for you. I'm choosing to also do this. There's more than one way to crack a movie. Okay. Sheena. Frederic. I don't like that last name. Sheena. So is Sheena our brain or our boobs? Or not at all?
See, my problem with Sheena is as soon as you say Sheena, my brain immediately starts singing Funky Cold Medina.
Okay.
Which is a problematic song.
Reroll. Show. These names are weird. Okay, I'm going to try one more.
Do you want me to use the random name generator that exists in my skull to help you out with this?
Hang on. One more. Reich? What's a Reich? Okay, I'm never using that again.
Well, Reich is like Riker, right? Riker's got a Reich. That's just a different conjugation of the same name.
Fair. So,
alternately, it might be a Chinese stereotype saying the word like.
So Riker is unfortunately, he's just number 2. He you know what would be great actually is that if Riker was our brains and was nothing like Riker.
Well, I mean, she could be his distant ancestor, right?
No, it's just not related. I'm just saying.
So we know she's gonna survive, right? Because she's gonna have a kid who will.
No, Riker. No. Riker. Who was yours? Sapphire.
Saffron, named after the spice. That's like one of the most expensive spices too, right? Like
Riker
when you
saffron.
talk about like Silk Road and like intercontinental trade, like hundreds of years ago. That was all for saffron, dude. People wanted saffron.
Fair. But Riker,
it's a good name.
Riker, saffron, and who was our number 1 for boobs? Give me the boobiest name you got.
The Titula.
Tit you jug. Tittle jug.
Areola.
Areola.
Areola
Riker,
is actually
saffron.
a really great name if you don't know what the word means.
Yeah, I'm kind of on your side on that one. Areola.
Riker, saffron, and Riker. See, now, here's the thing. This is why I prefer to use my brain over a random name generator. One of the keys when you're coming up with character names is they have to be distinguishable, especially in something like an action movie where you're only going to hear the character's name like maybe a dozen times, very often like being yelled over an explosion, right? So you can't have like Jason and Mason and Nathan.
Right.
Like, that's bad character name decisions. So I think like Riker, Saffron, and Areola, that's distinguishable. Like, you immediately know which one's which.
Okay. I have one more suggestion for really nailing this one and sending it home. And I'm like, I'm hesitant to do this, but I think that it'll be a nice little finale thing here. Please. For writing this. I think we should transplant ourselves into the second act, turning into the third act.
Okay.
And I think, one
okay,
of us
no, hang on. When you say transplant ourselves, are you talking like literally like we're getting a cameo in our own movie? Because
no, I want to just improv how you think this would play out. We're talking steampunky technology.
Okay. And we've been doing battle royale shit, and like it's already been revealed that the people orchestrating this shit are fucking sociopaths. I kind of don't want to use the word sociopath because there are plenty of people who have that sort of.
But they're
know what I mean.
These horrible people,
bad people who take medication, some sort of drug that was not prescribed by a professional. They just take it because it makes them feel powerful, and it does make them powerful. But they also lose their humanity to such an extent that we're okay with bashing their brains in with a shovel in the third act, and we're
and who do you want to be? Do you want to be?
I would love to be Areola.
And you want to also take the main villain voice here? Who's our villain? Doug.
Well, what's the opposite of an Areola?
My response was gonna be a Harriola.
Harry. My name is Harold.
Harry's the bad one. All right, so I'll be Riker and Saffron. All right.
I'm Harry. I'm the bad one.
Ooh, that's pretty good. We're in character. Okay, so
ladies, how does it feel? You all have blood on your hands now. Only one thing remains. Only one can triumph.
And then Saffron is like, I had just about enough of this shit, and then crushes the intercom with her like mech fist, and was like,
and then like the second intercom kicks in, is like, don't do that. These things are expensive.
And Riker is like, shut the fuck up, and shoots her gun at it because there's more than one badass in this thing. And then she's like, Ariola, what do you think? Should we?
I think he's cranky and he needs a nap.
Let's put this baby to bed. Yeah.
Golly, I'm sweet and innocent. Even though I had to kill someone like 15 minutes ago, but I felt really bad about it.
She suffocated them with her boobs.
It was an accident. I'm kind of like Lenny at petting the rabbit, only with my chest.
I actually feel really uncomfortable with that because it's like it would read as sexual. Like
I don't know what that is.
Sexy murder. All right.
It was inadvertent.
We need to take these guys down. Yeah. I think we should take some improv classes or something.
Yeah, like this is not going well. Okay, so they're going up to the central control room, and Harry, who for some reason was seated the wrong way, like there's no window there, he's just looking at the wall. He spins his chair around. He's like, you finally found me.
So is it just like a dude, but he's like turning yellow or something?
No, like I'm thinking like bloated and like a body like a collection of trash bags.
Oh, like he's just smuggling trash under his shirt?
Yeah, and sort of like almost as if he's made out of like butter.
So just kind of greasy.
Greasy and yellow and slightly pale.
Yeah, all right.
Even though like he was actually like darker skinned earlier, like this isn't a normal paleness that you just get from a white dude being inside all the time. We're talking like this dude is fermented.
Okay, so Saffron in her mech is like, it's over, Harry.
It's so great that that's my name.
We're going to...
Nothing's over.
We're gonna end you. Fuck, did we just make Charlie's Angels?
No, because Charlie is a good guy. Like, what is the matter with you?
No, I mean, did Charlie send the angels to get Harry?
He didn't shave them bald, though.
I don't know. I think we sort of missed the mark on this one a bit.
Okay. So, no. I think we could do this. They come out to defeat like main evil dude, and he's like all bloated and gross, but he's like, oh, but I have so much power, unlimited power, and they're like, no, we're gonna stop you, and then
you think you can save this, huh?
with my comedic powers, absolute, I'm the greatest person in the world, and I can do this.
Hashtag humble brag.
That's what
I'm
that
the greatest person in the world. All right, so there's one thing that's missing. We need our one-liner. So Harry is gonna like throw, I don't know, a grenade or something.
Yeah, like that's the sound of me pulling the pin. Like, oh, eat this, and I throw it.
All right, and then
all seems lost.
Saffron catches it and like high fives it in the air over to Riker, who is gonna do this big slam.
Wait, hang on. Like, can we set this up earlier? Like in the first act, they were a volleyball team or something.
Oh yeah. Okay, so she's gonna spike it down, and she jumps up and says, "Spike."
Okay.
No.
Oh
okay.
Shit! It's getting spiked back at me. I didn't anticipate this. And
that's hang on. I need a better one-liner. Saffron says alley-oop, And Riker, before jumping up to spike it down, says, "This is for..." Oh, no.
Person
I got
who
it.
died earlier.
I got it. She says, "For someone named Harry, we don't even have hair and we just kicked your ass."
No, my beautiful hair. It was the one part of me that still looked natural.
And then she slams the grenade into his big, dumb mouth. And he gulps it down.
I shouldn't have been retorting.
I got so good at swallowing pills, he just instantly swallowed a grenade.
Oh, yeah, shit. That was...
Blows up.
We have a gag reflex for a reason, ladies and gentlemen.
And then his supposedly superior parts are splattered all over this room. And Areola says,
"Yay, we won!"
"Oh, god damn it, we're bad at this.
The day is saved, and now nothing bad will ever happen again."
This is like a CDI game. It's like Wand of Gamelon level of shit. But, okay, so... let's turn this back towards the fans for a minute. For the listeners.
Hi, fans.
Hi there.
We love you.
Fans is maybe generous. People who happen to be listening to our mouth sounds. Did we knock it out of the park? Did we nail it? We have some ideas that are maybe okay, but you got another idea you want to spin off on this one? Something that will actually tie this together. Hey, do you want to write us a script or something? You go for it.
You could absolutely do that. That thing that he said just now.
Just saying, we sort of had some universe things that were sort of sounding kind of fun.
And other things that were just not.
Yeah, kind of. But yeah, you can tweet at us at HIGAI show.
At twitter.com.
Twitter.com. I keep forgetting the proper formatting. And also we're on Facebook. Please rate us on iTunes if you would like. That's iTunes.com.
Recommend us on LinkedIn.
No, not LinkedIn.
Ello. We're on Ello.
We are not on Ello.
You could toot at us on Mastodon.
Is that how that works?
I swear to God.
Wow.
Okay. So, what's our next thing gonna be, Luke?
Oh, shit. Yeah, it's my turn. So, for our next episode...
What is it?
We will make...
What are we gonna make?
The world's...
Tell me.
Best...
I need it. Long sequence of dead air are the world's best long sequence of dead air.
We're gonna make
the next best
household appliance.
The crowd goes wild. We're gonna make an appliance.
We shall make an appliance in the next episode. Thanks so much for listening.
Yes.
And until next time,
ladies and gentlemen,
remember that an idea is just...
Nope, suck Grimace's dick. I'm not letting you change that.
Good night, everyone. Yep.
Like that?
Yep.